remember to take all your belongings with you when you leave the train. Change here for other national rail services.
So we just had breakfast at a place called Red Roasters here in Brighton. I had a toast with eggs and bacon and mushrooms, and Max had a schnitzel with an egg on top. We don't really know what we're gonna do here in Brighton, but I think we're just gonna wander around. We're right next to the pier, which is off to the left here, so that's where we're going next. See the wind farm?
Yeah.
It's dope.
It's 40 degrees out. It's very pleasant for us on the pier. There's a guy in the water back there with no wetsuit on, just a normal swimsuit. I mean...
So at the end of this pier, there's a full-on amusement park, and what is this called? An arcade? An arcade.
You didn't have an arcade growing up. We had arcades up in Monaco. They're so fun.
We didn't have such luxuries where I grew up.
Sorry if there's...
But Max is gonna try and win me something.
God. I didn't know that's how you play.
And now we are 50 pence less rich.
Oh, when else we're gonna use this change anyway? Try again. No, we're not trying again.
First impressions of Brighton so far. It's noticeably colder down here, and I think it's just the sea air feels a lot wetter. No, I don't know. It's such a small, quaint little town, and I love being by the sea.
Ever since we went to Hampstead and went to one of the most famous creperies in all of England, I've been obsessed with crepes because I never really knew anything about crepes before. I mean, I've heard people talk about them, but it's never been something that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like craving some crepes. But I don't know, now I'm excited every time I see it.
So here at Brighton, the beach is full of pebbles. It's not a sand beach, it's a pebble beach. It's still surprisingly hard to walk through.
we just finished a fantastic meal here at Baby Bao, and it was not what I was expecting at all. When Sydney first brought it up, I was thinking, okay, like Chinese buns, I've had it before. They're almost more of like a taco shape, but it has like the steamed bun outside. And then the fillings are like very unique. Like there was one that was kind of like a cheeseburger. We had one that was a crusted cod, a miso crusted cod. All of them were so fantastic. I think the pork belly was my favorite because it was just so tender when you bit into it. And then they had like this hoisin sauce on it, which is like if you're not familiar with hoisin sauce, it's like very thick and just kind of a savory flavor, kind of like an umami flavor. So that was all over the fries as well. The fries that we got were so good. It had that as well as a miso mayo and a sriracha on top of it. So this place is fantastic. And it's so funny because like we've been eating in London for what, like 2.5 weeks straight, and this is like towards the top of like places we've had so far. So very excited about that. And yeah, I'm a big fan of bao. Like if you're not familiar, it's like a steamed Chinese bun. Like the softness when you bite into the bread is just so good, and the way they have it in kind of that taco shape, it's like perfect for just eating them individually. It's so tender. That's crazy. And we mentioned it before, but Brighton is like not at all what we expected. I think coming here, we were kind of picturing like a coastal town you might see in like Rhode Island or Cape Cod or something like that. But it's a lot more, I mean, the setting with the sea is like that, but it's a lot more grungy, and like everything is like very hipster. Like we went into a couple of vintage bookshops. The coffee culture here is insane, way better than London, to be honest with you. And like we went into a guitar shop, like a used music equipment store. Like it just feels so like young and vibrant, and I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting like, you know, retired people living on the coast or whatever. So that definitely took me by surprise. But yeah, this is like a super hipster kind of place that we just ate at, and the food was fantastic. The pricing was pretty good too. I mean, I was actually surprised. I was thinking at first like, okay, that seems like a lot for a bun, but then when I saw what we each got 2 and then kind of shared all of them. Definitely worth it. So there was the cheeseburger one, like kind of a patty with some kimchi on top of it, and then some cheese. We also got a side of kimchi. Again, if you're not familiar, kimchi is a Korean side. It's kind of like a fermented cabbage that has a lot of these different spices in it. I'm a huge fan of kimchi. Very, very good kimchi here. And when we were done, the waiter, who was really nice to us the whole time, they're kind of busy tonight, but we got in at a table right before a reservation at 7. He was talking to us and he was like, so where are you guys from? Like, your accents are interesting. And it's the second time we've been asked like about our accents, and I think that I have like people can tell that I'm from the north of the US, which I think is hilarious, because it's almost like they know it's not, they obviously don't know it's not English, but they don't know, they can't really pin it down. And I think it's because I sound way different than like someone from Kansas or from California or Iowa for sure. So you just had to throw that in, or Iowa. That's more like a base level kind of US accent, but I guess my R's are kind of like rolled, and then I have like the bag and flag and all of that. So you can tell that like I'm from the north, which I think is so, like everyone has noticed that. And we also, like Sydney and I just love the British accent. We are absolutely obsessed with the British accent, and I think I'm getting a little better. I think there's certain things that people realize, okay mate, you're not from here, but for the most part I think I kind of get it. So sometimes like when we're talking to each other, we're talking a British accent, and I think that part of it kind of confuses people sometimes, because they're like, oh, that sounded normal, but then they start talking weird. So it's just it's fun to be in a place where we're the weird ones, and like we have the weird accents. And I can't wait, like that's probably gonna be even more so when we go out east. So yeah, just a great night here in Brighton. Change of pace from London, a lot more chill here, and I love it. I would come back in a heartbeat.
See what I mean about the whole Viking thing? He likes to throw that around a lot.
I'm from the north.
This is just all I wanted. I wanted to be on the beach and just taking in the sights and scenes. I love being by the water.